Welcome back to Operations with Void. Today we're doing another request video. I was requested to run with the Dido. Oh, how I don't like this ship. Where is it? Where is it? The Canaris. Each time you grab the Dido, you get the Canaris. I like this ship better. But, yeah, no. We're doing the Dido. I'm not fond of this ship because it has a worse reload than the same ship of its class in a different tree, the Rawmat. The AP is worst in all regards. The AHE is nothing special. You need to spec into IFHE, so here's the skills for it, and I have IFHE and Concealment Expert, so it feels like a minimum of a 14-point captain you need for it. And being a premium, that's not too bad. And yeah, the 8-kilometer torpedoes means you cannot stealth torpedo, limiting their uses. And the short burst smoke means that you're not going to be using the smoke to fire that much. And the smoke is shorter than the one on the Rawmat. And the reload time for the guns is worse than the Rawmat. In fact, the only thing that this thing has over the Rawmat, two things. One, it's premium. Two, the torpedoes can hit destroyers. That's it. It's the only two benefits over the Rawmat. Oh, I guess it also gets the British cruiser acceleration, but you can install that mod, that slot. Can you? Anyways, well, yes you can. I have rudder shift on here because you can't do the acceleration mod, which I would want on here because even with British acceleration, it doesn't accelerate well. Thank you, super testers, and all your hard work clubbing tier 6 seals. Anyways, since this is a tough ship to play, we're going to go into tough. With that, I'll show myself into battle. So, yes, I know I'm in a division, but I actually will be playing it like I'm not in a division, since I can't really get support. And in tough, the way you play it wouldn't really be. Well, I guess the only thing you could get for the division is someone else who also brings smoke, and you can borrow their smoke. But I'm not borrowing anybody's smoke. So, of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to aim at the cruisers. I would like to get closer to the cruisers. However, the island on the right side of the screen, if you go in front of that island, if you go in front of this island to the right, while the destroyers are still alive, the destroyers will then turn and flee instead of staying and engaging. You normally want to relieve the North Atlanta to a battleship anyways, so it's a battleship that is your job is to go up there. If you're down and there are battleships up there that don't know what to do, you tell them to go up there and wait for the Atlanta and kill it. So I'm actually going to try and get up closer because I want to use the torpedoes because the guns are so bad. I mean, the torpedoes are bad. But if you are getting into an intercept position where you can intercept ships, then you can semi-stealth torp. You just have to get into the place. Oh yes, I forgot. London does have smoke. He is going to use this smoke, but I'm not going to use this smoke. If you see a destroyer here, yes, you can come up with them and use their smoke. But London, no, does not. London's a heavy cruiser, so it's not as stealthy and can't go up as far. The one thing you need to be careful about is not going, but the island to the left, you don't want to go past it. So you don't want to go too far. So what we're just trying to do is get within range, not be detected, and be able to throw torpedoes out. Seeing the Indianapolis at that state. Yes, I am within radar range, but for some reason Indianapolis does not use radar. So I was able to send torps off. And so now we have 30 seconds of smoke. What we're actually going to do is just turn around. And that's what we're more or less going to focus on. A little bit of shooting, but mostly we're going to turn around and hope that our minimal armor, lack of armor saves us from the shells. Yeah, see, it's not great acceleration. There, we got one torpedo hit, and then we're going to throw the other set at the New York, and then we're going to run away. I mean, the whole point of having these small caliber guns, whereas AA, and the whole point of having AA, that hurt. The whole point of AA was to be able to shoot a lot of guns quickly to be able to hit your targets. And there we got it. And see, this is, we're making do with the 8 kilometers. We're smoking up. Yeah, we're using a second smoke. But notice we're facing away so that we can easily run away when the cruisers show up. Because the Omaha class cruisers, they outgun both of us. Pretty sure one Omaha has more DPM than the London and the Dido combined. Maybe. If we're talking about both sides, they definitely do. And the wreck perfectly blocked those. If there was not a wreck there, those might have had 2 torpedoes hit. Oh well, we're getting fires. Either way, by throwing the torpedoes there, we were able to soften them up, and the battleships were taken down quickly. On the Alba up north actually seems to be taking care of the Atlanta. Cato saves the day. So sometimes, see, even in a div, everybody goes and does not. And if you notice, the cruiser, our Indianapolis went inside, and our Bismarck went inside. We even had a battleship go a little bit too far south. So the Clemson has spawned, and the Clemson's headed towards the bay. Despite however much season into London and I tried, someone's going to try and spawn the Clemson. Mostly probably because they do not know about the spawn triggers. I believe my previous video on Tough has where the Clemson spawns, but also it is now written on the Wikipedia the squares in which the Clemson spawns. If you need a refresher, check out the wiki page. They've been recently updated to reflect the current operations. including walkthroughs of how one should play. Okay. Oh yes, floaty shells. That's another thing. Even with the longer barrels, they're really floaty shells. Okay. Where's the next two? Or was that all four? I don't remember. So now what we're doing is we're cutting in, because I don't want it to be here at this side when the ships, the Omaha and Pensacola spawn, if they spawn on this side, whereas on the other two flanks it'd be decently far enough away from them. And then we're going to head to the repair zone, because about 26,000 HP is not that much. It's not enough for a cruiser, especially one that can be citadeled. Did I say cruisers that can be citadeled? All cruisers can be citadeled. I'm sorry. I mean an oversized destroyer, because that's what this is. It's an oversized destroyer with a citadel. Granted, some of them are okay. Like the Pan-Asian tier 8 one, the Harbin, it's actually not that bad, but that's mostly because it can stealth torp. And it has a heal. And its smoke lasts longer than 4 salvos. 5. I think it's 5 or 6 salvos that you get with the smoke. It's in the Dido. And Atlanta's good. It gets the utility of radar. And it has a high rate of fire. It actually has a destroyer rate of fire and instead of a light cruiser. So the first wave is south. The first wave, which consists of Omahas and Pensacola's exclusively. The number of which type of ship depends on the wave. Oh, also not being able to out TPM anything, you wouldn't go for the carrier either. But thankfully, I believe 2 of our battleships were going south to take care of the carrier, and they were able to take care of it. But yeah, it's slow, so unlike a destroyer. Yeah. So we're just killing time. And we get to our heal circle. Yes, I'm going to complain about the Dido the entire time, because it started out as a decent ship and then nerf. Because it was doing too well in tier 6 randoms by players who could do too well in any ship they got, and we're almost guaranteed to be using tier 21 point captains on this. Was after the Italian cruisers, starting with the Japanese cruisers, that super testers were limited on to how many points a captain could have based on the tier of ship. Anyways, I'm moving over this way because the planes are already headed towards the west, so the second wave is guaranteed to be the west, and then there's also the destroyers to deal with in the center, and position in between means that you can go for either one. And the 360-degree turrets, oh, another one of the few good things about this is the 360-degree turrets. Means that you can engage either side fairly quickly, even with their pretty terrible turret traverse. Yeah, that's slow. For AA guns, that's way too slow. Those are optimistic torpedoes. Yes, the destroyer is there. They outgun this cruiser, even though this one has more guns than any of them. Oh look, my optimistic torpedoes. They worked. If you notice, and that's another thing, the fifth turret has such bad angles that you have to be nearly broadside to be able to use it. And even from full health, we're back down to a third HP. Just from brawling with 3 destroyers. With the help of others. If those destroyers had loaded AP, which thankfully bot destroyers do not, there would be no Dido for that. But thankfully they do not load AP, because the majority of players do not load AP in destroyers. And AP is not useful in destroyers. So says the Wargaming development team. That was funny to see. Yes, with the 14.1 kilometer range. I mean, honestly, the range is not an issue, because anything beyond that range you will not hit. And the target has to be sitting still to hit at anything beyond 14 kilometers. So back to the heal circle again. Good news is, with the low HP, is you get to go back to full HP very quickly. And so if there is a game mode, if you're in Dido and there is a game mode with a heal circle, you generally don't want to go too far from it, because you need it. I think I've already taken more damage. If you could get Dreadnought in this game, I'm pretty sure I would get Dreadnought in this game. But can't get Dreadnought because it's PvE. And there's where our good short gun range comes in handy. We're able to shoot at the North Carolina and not be detected. So not quite full HP, but enough. So we're gonna try to get into torpedo range, because they are going pretty fast, so we might be able to send torpedoes at Missouri and or Cleveland. We'll try. But that's a lot of firepower. And they have, well, we have a Cleveland and a Wichita and a Missouri, sorry. So they all have radar. So I'm just using the lines to double check, and there we go. We got all 5 of them targeting. And that is because I'm turning broadside, and I do not want AP on my broadside. And see, we throw the smoke out, but already radared. So I could be shooting back. but I'm not because I'm focusing on the torpedoes. So we launched the torpedoes. We hope we're lucky. And what we're just trying to do is get out of range because Cleveland shells hurt. And so now we're out of range. So we can shoot a little bit, but I think the destroyer is about to spot us. And we got 2 torpedoes hits on the Cleveland. And we're about to, yeah, we're spotted again. But now we're not the closest target, so it's okay that we're spotted. And we finished off the Missouri with the torpedoes. So the near suicidal run of torpedoes has been very fruitful. And the bots in this one go very fast. I think they all travel 40 knots or more. So you have to zoom all the way out. And the Cleveland's down. So only 3 kills. But we were able to hit 8 torpedo hits despite the 8-kilometer range. 190 shell hits despite the low shells. And it was a 5-star thanks to our team members. 10 fires. I'm actually surprised I got that many fires. And all this, we somehow made it to top of the team with, there were a tier 8 and a couple tier 7s on the board. And, yeah, pretty decent for stats as well. So, that's kind of the play of Dido. It's high risk, high reward, or you could just sit back. I know over half of our damage was torpedoes. So the guns are underwhelming. The torpedoes are close-ish range. You can kind of cheese them. So if you're going to run the Dido, try and cheese the torpedoes. I think she could do decent on Raptor Rescue. You might be able to do some stuff on which was Newport, if you're on Newport, but you have to get it out of the harbor. And then get out of the harbor and then kind of let the enemy chase you in as you throw torpedoes. For Aegis, yeah, just I'd say stay back. Find someone who will tank for you and be behind them and shoot. Because Aegis, there's really no good spot for Dido. For Killer Whale, she does not have the Torpedo Alpha to do the north route. Don't do the north route. She okay as a support, but don't expect to do well in Killer Whale. Tough, I actually did not expect to do this well in Tough, but somehow I made it work. It probably helped that 3 of my div mates also brought lower tier ships. But yeah, so that's the Dido in Tough. I hope you enjoyed this video, and next week I should have a video up for Hermes. So I hope to see you then. Like, subscribe if you liked it, or don't if you didn't. Anyways, see you around.